In 2016, we were experiencing a Tour de France that had a few surprises so far, a 1 kilometer to go banner falling on Adam Yates being a highlight, but there was nothing else truly memorable. The world was resigned to witnessing another Chris Froome overall win, where he would dominate with minimal issues. But on stage 12, it seemed like that would change. Stage 12 was planned to take the riders up to the peak of the infamous Mont Ventoux, above the tree line into windswept desolation. It's a beautiful, historic climb with incredible visuals, but we wouldn't end up seeing that this tour. See, the thing about a climb being windswept without any protection is that winds sometimes get really strong, like over 100 kilometers an hour strong. With rider safety in mind, the race organizers decide to move the finish of the race to 6 kilometers earlier than the summit, where stages of Paris-Nice traditionally finish on this climb. Most of the riders seem to not be bothered by the change, including Froome. Quote, "It's very hard, and it could be split to pieces by the wind before the climb. If anything, it's going to be an even more intense stage because it's shorter." It will have one other major impact. All those fans that will venture to the very top of the summit will now be compressed down the climb, packed in like sardines. This promises both a spectacular atmosphere and an increase in risk. Before we reach the final climb, a moment of controversy unfolded. With 33 kilometers to go, Simon Gerrans crashed at the front of the peloton, bringing down Team Sky's Ian Stannard and nearly toppling Chris Froome. As his teammates scrambled to their feet, Froome sat up, gesturing for calm, and ultimately pulled over to the side of the road. It was a deliberate move, an attempt to neutralize the race long enough for his fallen teammates to rejoin. Crucially, Froome hadn't crashed, he wasn't delayed by injury or mechanical trouble. He stopped purely to protect his team. In effect, it was a manufactured nature break, not to relieve himself, but to preserve the strength of the Sky train. With over 30 kilometers still to race, it was an almost unseen gesture from a rider in yellow. Sky fans will hail the move as noble. Froome waited for his loyal domestique, and a captain showing that kind of support may be rare in the Tour de France. Froome's loyalty may have won him admiration, it didn't entitle him to immunity. It's not the job of Movistar or any rival team to ensure Froome has his full squad intact. Had another team chosen to press the advantage, they'd have broken no unwritten rules, only expectations. And yes, that might have seemed harsh, but at a certain point, sportsmanship gives way to strategy. Froome took a calculated risk, and if anyone had gone for the throat, he'd have no one to blame but himself. We continue on with the race, and there's 1.8 kilometers left to go, at least for the lead group with eventual stage winner Thomas de Gendt. 6 minutes behind them is Froome in yellow, with Team Sky pushing the pace, and podium hopefuls Richie Porte and Nairo Quintana tucked in behind Froome. Froome wants to up the pace, so he attacks in his trademark style, elbows flaring out, legs spinning at a ridiculous cadence. Porte and Quintana swing around the Skyriders to catch Froome. Quintana is here to try and complete his goal of winning every Grand Tour. The Tour de France is the only one to still elude him. Porte is hoping to finally have a Grand Tour result that actually demonstrates his talent, as he is far better than his 7th at the Giro back in 2010 demonstrates. Froome keeps pushing the pace, continuously looking down at his stem, an act that would spawn memes for years. He's shredded the group, leaving just the 3 of them to do battle on the remaining slopes. Froome strikes again, Porte holds on, but Quintana drops back. Back in the second contenders group, now being led by Quintana, the Dutchman Bauke Mollema attacks in hopes of finding his way onto the final podium in Paris. Meanwhile, Porte has come to the front, If he helps Froome and extends the gap, Porte is riding himself onto the podium. We see the leaders on the road, the ones that are battling for the stage, and the crowd is chaotic. Back to Froome, Mollema has joined up, making it a group of 3. Thomas de Gendt officially takes the stage, a well-deserved win for the breakaway artist. Now the full attention can turn to the GC, where Mollema has gone on the offensive. There's something unfolding here, and I think I know what it is. By everyone being quietly resigned to Froome winning the Tour, it's opened up the battlefield for second, and that's what Mollema is racing for. It doesn't matter to him if Froome stays on or gets dropped. As long as Porte cracks, Mollema has done the right thing. But neither of those two look weak, especially as Froome goes to the front again. We go to the finish line to see someone finish in 7th and then cut back. There's a Movistar rider slowing down as a motorbike is stuck in the middle of the road, blocking riders from progressing. He gets moving again, and some idiot in a yellow jersey is now running alongside the riders and TV camera. Then we see Richie Porte struggling to get the chain back on his bike, and we all wonder what happened. A misshift, perhaps? But the TV camera leaves him behind. We need to get back to Froome to see where the leader is. There's another idiot in a yellow jersey running up the climb now, except it's actually the overall leader, Froome. Something has gone terribly wrong. Anyone who's walked into a cafe in cycling shoes can tell you that's hard enough, let alone running in them, let alone up a mountain, let alone in the Tour de France. But the yellow jersey makes riders do strange things to keep it. He's yelling into the radio, probably for a new bike, as Porte rides past. He keeps looking over his shoulder, waiting for a bike in the team car, and then comes to a complete stop as neutral service finally arrives. Mollema is coming to the line, taking full advantage of the situation as Froome struggles on the neutral service bike. It's all coming undone. Unable to bear the bike for another 400 meters, Froome elects to swap to a team bike for the finish. Now, the million-dollar question. What the hell happened here? The replay goes on the air. We see Porte leading the group, flying past fans. And the next moment is him smashing into the back of the TV motorcycle, which had slammed on the brakes to avoid hitting the fans. We also see Froome and Mollema go down too, almost cartoonishly. Mollema extracts his bike, undamaged, and continues on. The immediate concern for Froome is an injury, as he seems totally fine. What the concern is time. Froome lost 1 minute and 14 seconds to Quintana, and a whopping 1 minute 40 seconds to Mollema, who was on an absolute tear. If the time gaps stand, the yellow jersey would go to a different British rider, Adam Yates. However, the race jury makes a decision, perhaps controversially. They award Porte and Mollema with the same time as Froome. Had the race jury not reversed the gaps, Adam Yates would have claimed the yellow jersey, with Mollema at 9 seconds behind and Quintana 14, and Froome would be in 6th overall at 53 seconds. Now though, Froome leads Yates by 47 seconds, having been awarded the time gaps that held at the time of the incident. And of course, Froome was happy. Quote, "I'm very happy with the commissaire's decision. I think it was correct, so thank you to them." What a final. In the final kilometer, the moto brakes suddenly in front of us, and Richie, Balk, and I crashed into it. And then the moto behind me ran over my bike and broke it. I said to myself, I have no bike, and I knew the car with my bike was 5 minutes behind on the road, so I need to run. This was yet another example of the unpredictability and chaos of the Tour, and I think it also marks a turning point in Froome's career, where people began to like him more for his tenacity and determination. Either way, whether you think the time gap situation was correct or not, it's now one of the iconic Tour de France moments.